According to Egyptologist Mustafa Gadalla, the motif of the Christmas tree finds its origins in the ancient Kemetic myth of Asar, which dates back to over 5,000 years ago. This myth has come to be known as the myth of Osiris, as Asar's name was changed to its Greek form once Kemet was conquered by the ancient Greeks in 332 BCE, but in this telling of the story, I've elected to stick with the ancient African names as opposed to the European Greek names that came much later in history. According to the Asarian myth, there was once a divine king of Kemet named Asar. His brother, Set, invited him to a banquet for a feast, but he was an evil trickster figure and he planned to end his brother's life so that he could rule over Kemet. As an aside, it's worth briefly noting that the name of the Christian adversary, Satan, is actually a derivative of the name for the ancient Kemetic personification of evil named Set, but that's a topic for another day. Let's get back to the Asarian myth. So while at the banquet, Set tricks his brother Asar into placing himself into a beautiful wooden chest, and then Set, along with his accomplices, lock it shut and send it up the African Nile River until it reaches the Mediterranean Sea. The chest that Asar was locked in eventually stops in a foreign land where a tree springs up around it and encloses Asar inside its trunk. It grew to be a large, beautiful, and fragrant tree. A foreign king learned of this magnificent tree, ordered that it be cut down and brought to him so that he could place it within his home. The foreign king, of course, was unaware that the body of Asar lied within its trunk. There are many more details to the story, but the climactic end involves Asar later being rescued and resurrected due to the help of his wife Aset, also known as Isis, and his son Heru, also known as Horus. Heru is the personification of light, and he goes on to defeat his uncle Set, the personification of darkness. Asar rises and becomes the ruler of the underworld, whereas his son Heru becomes the ruler of the Turanian world of Kemet. The theme of the beautiful and fragrant tree that has the dormant life of Asar encased within it comes to be the foundational model for the Christmas tree. When Asar is resurrected and becomes the ruler of the dark underworld, he becomes a symbol of life and hope for the dead who wish to rise again. This Christmas season, as you're decorating your Christmas tree, remember its ancient African roots and the life that it represents. In a season where vegetative life dies, the Christmas tree represents extant life, hence why the evergreen tree maintains its pine needle leaves in the dead of winter, signifying life and hope in the future to come. That future, of course, being spring, where life returns back from the dead, like Asar the Christ or Jesus the Christ. If you'd like to learn more, I highly recommend Mustafa Gadalla's book titled Ancient Egyptian Roots of Christianity. You'll note that the title says Egyptian as opposed to Kemetic, but that's because Egypt is a Greek word that was conferred upon the land of Kemet once it was conquered in 332 BCE by the ancient Greeks. However, dynastic Kemet dates all the way back to 3150 BCE. The land now called Egypt was originally called Kemet, meaning the black land or the land of the blacks, referring to the people living there and not the soil as some have falsely claimed. But I digress. If you're interested in learning more about the ancient Kemetic roots of Christmas and would like to understand the ancient Kemetic origins of the term Christ, then check out my video titled The Ancient Kemetic Origins of Christ. Well, that's all I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'm Dr. Jermaine Thomas. Thanks for watching.